coming out to share this day with Butch and his family. We don't want to block Mary's view, not that she doesn't see enough of the guy. But as a testament to Butch, this morning we have elected officials, musicians, athletes, residents, and friends, and most likely each of us whose lives have been enriched by Butch. When I arrived almost 4 years ago, a resident asked me if I had met the mayor. And I innocently and naively applied. I said, no, I wasn't here in October 2015 when de Blasio and Garodnick and the Blackstone guys were here. And the resident laughed and said, no, the real mayor. Soon after I met the real mayor, and like so many of us that are here today, I connected with Butch on a much more than a familial level and learned of not only his extraordinary contribution to the Stuyvesant Town community, but to humanity. The game of basketball was his conduit to helping others. This playground that we're on today was one of many that he used to teach the game, where he not only worked on basketball skills, but also working on the player. Butch's life work is in counseling, focused on drug and alcohol rehabilitation, which impacted so many lives on and off the court. He was called on by the Knicks and then the NBA to help develop a counseling program for their players. His involvement with the Rucker tournament and the Rucker League is legend, as evidenced, and I think he's on his way, by Earl the Pearl Monroe's presence. He'll be here shortly. It's no surprise that Butch gravitated to Rucker Park up in Harlem, for it was Holcomb's Ruckers who believed that, what did he say, one team, be a team, one team. Each one, teach one. It was Holcomb Ruckers, and despite that legend, that man's life was cut too short, but it's people like Butch that brought that legend on. Today is about Butch in Stuyvesant Town. Playground 9 was where Butch held court, figuratively and literally. He taught the game of basketball and the game of life right here for decades worth of Stuyvesant Town youth and adults, and many again are in their adult lives here. And today, as Butch holds court on the benches around his apartment and around the Oval, his energy lifts all passerbys, and his presence is stronger than ever. The community is blessed to have Butch and Mary, and we're honored to put Butch's name on Playground 9's entry shortly. Before we do that, we have some friends. So before we do that, which will close, we have some people who would like to speak, and beginning with our council member and Stuyvesant Town resident, Keith Powers.
Good morning. I have a speech, but I don't need a speech to talk about Butch. I've known Butch literally my entire life. He's known me, I guess, my entire life. As a friend of my family who's here today, as a neighborhood, the mayor of Stuyvesant Town, but also just as a personal friend. And, when I used to know Butch as the guy who'd call my house and talk to my dad complaining about the Knicks every day. I didn't know he was so popular like today. But as I was running for office and I started to walk around with Butch, I had two thoughts. One is, thank God I got Butch in my corner, and thank God Butch isn't running against me. And I realized that I see a lot of friends and family, friends of my family I've known most of my life. Many who I've got to know through running and representing the neighborhood. He is really the guy who brings us all together for this neighborhood. He's a guy who knows the old timers. He knows a lot of the new people who moved in here. He knows almost seemingly everybody when he walks his little dog around the neighborhood. So it is really an honor. I think it's a great idea, by the way, too, that they're honoring him here today by naming this playground after him. And I will admit I was a Playground 11 basketball guy, not a Playground 9 basketball guy. But I live by Playground 9 now, for what it's worth. But this is such a fantastic day. It's a fantastic idea, and it's for a fantastic guy. We want to do something special for him. We have a proclamation from the City Council on behalf of Butch. I won't read the whole thing because it's kind of boring, but and you guys know a lot of it. I will read my favorite part, which is the end. Councilmember Keith Powers is happy to see Stuyvesant Town Management name a playground in his honor, for he has known Butch his entire life. Butch has been a family friend through thick and thin, and together they have survived the torture of the Knicks and the triumph of the Yankees. I think there's nothing more befitting of Butch than that. But I just want to say on a personal note, I'm really happy to have you as a family friend. I think this whole neighborhood is happy to have you as one of our neighbors and one of our own. And I think today is such a fantastic day to honor not just the person that you are in this neighborhood, but the work that you've done on behalf of this entire city. So thank you. Thank you. To leave, so I gotta go take a photo down at City Hall.
And next up, we have State Senator Brad Hoylman.
Good afternoon. Good morning. State Senator Brad Hoylman. You know, what an honor to be here with Butch and everyone in this neighborhood. You know, with the tough times that we have in our country, it's nice that we take a moment and pause and think about our community, our local neighborhood, and the leadership that makes it such. So I'm so happy to be at Butch's bar mitzvah. And seriously, and I am serious about that. You know, I think the council member said it well, and I'll say it also, that the only person I know in Stuyvesant Town that's more popular than Dan Grodnick is Butch Purcell. That's for my friend Dan over there. But I agree that as a local elected official, as somebody who represents you in Albany, I couldn't do my job unless I had folks like Butch who were on the ground, who had the knowledge, who had the history, who had the understanding, and who had your trust in terms of what we try to do to represent you as elected officials. So Butch, I want to say thank you for those years. I want to say thank you to Mary for loaning him to us for all those years. And from the State Senate, I want to say that we also have a proclamation. You're not going to upstage me, City Council. Because I think in Albany, we're kind of known as the Wizard of Oz, and that's kind of what we do with these proclamations. So, Butch, today, from the New York State Senate, we are honoring John Butch Purcell for his extraordinary service to the Stuyvesant Town Peter Cooper Village community. And I'll get to the chase, cut to the chase here, that proclaimed that I, New York State Senator Brad Hoylman, recognize that in John Butch Purcell, we have an individual worthy of our highest praise and esteem, and be it proclaimed that I, New York State Senator Brad Hoylman, turn this way, commend Butch Purcell for his extraordinary service to our community and to his cherished family, friends, and neighbors, and declare today, Wednesday, September 25th, 2019, as Butch Purcell Appreciation Day. Thank you so much, Rick, for having me today.
That's why we have kids, Butch, right? At least John doesn't have to cut the lawn. So next up, we have State Assembly Member Harvey Epstein.
Thank you, Rick. And I feel like it's a theme going on here about Butch. I mean, the love that we all have for you and what you do for our community, our city, and our country is well seen with this crowd. Think about all these people who are coming here for you. And for someone like me, you are such an opening, warm, caring, deeply considerate person. When I walk around this neighborhood, you are the person who helps the most. When I talk about issues that are going on with state government, obviously people know things like the rent laws and things we did this year in Albany really have impact on people. People like Butch are there on the front lines. Butch is giving us information and helping us. It's not only his work that he's done in basketball, not only his acting career that we want to talk about, but Butch as a human being, Butch as a caring person, and Butch as a friend. I really want to thank you for your friendship, thank you for your leadership, and thank you what you do for our community. And oddly, I have a proclamation. But I'll say this is a bigger proclamation. So really, Butch, it's just really, I don't know if you have enough wall space for all these proclamations. But really, this is just for you because of all you do for our city, the state of New York and the state of Southern. I want to honor you for everything you've done. Thank you. Thank you.
And next up, we have one of our own, former council member Dan Garodnick.
Morning, everyone. It's good to see you all. You know, I come empty-handed today. How embarrassing, you know? You leave the city council and you show up at a great event like this, and all you can bring is your gratitude and the words of a community that is just so appreciative of this wonderful human being. And I will tell you that we all know Butch as somebody who stands up and cares for this neighborhood and cares for his neighbors. I remember meeting him standing on a street corner, shaking hands, and noting a disproportionately small dog to the frame of this gentleman, and took to him instantly. I mean, I found him to be so warm and so generous of spirit that we became friends, and I have really appreciated the many years that we have had together. And Butch, I will say, you know, as the mayor, you might look out this crowd and say, it's time to go to Iowa. I'm just saying.
Butch for president.
There might be an opening for you. But in all seriousness, I want to thank Rick for recognizing everything that Butch has done for this community, helping young people who are struggling, and being just a wonderful neighbor and a terrific guy. Butch, we love you. We are so grateful for you. Congratulations.
Next up, we have Dennis Delaney.
He's justifiably nervous. You don't have to get up.
Thank you, Dean.
I can't say it better than it's been said by professionals. Mike.
Say hi, Mike.
Now's when I need it. I want to ask Mary and John a question. Every time you run into Butch, not in Stuyvesant Town, but out on First Avenue, he's like this. And what he always had in his hands was 2 big cups of Baskin-Robbins. Now I have one question. Either have 2 Pinocchios, 1 or none. Did those cups make it to the apartment? My partner Jake used to stop Butch. Say, Butch! He goes, no, this one's for Mary. But we never believed that. Did the cup make it, and was it empty, or was there something in it? So you're not Pinocchio. Correct. Okay, now, seriously, a playground is an active place. It's not a passive place. If I give a bad speech, you'll stand there and look at me like this. And if I give a good speech, you're praising me. That's not why we're here. What I want you to do is give Butch a sustained round of applause for being a spectacular person.
Speaker is Raphael Hines here.
Right there.
There we go.
As so many of you have, so many people have already said, what Butch has done for this community and this city is really, I mean, the accolades, we can go on and on. But as somebody on a personal level who he has reached out to, mentored, always been there to give advice, it's really, it goes beyond words to say the impact that he's had on guys like myself and so many others. For guys who love the game of basketball, who play the game of basketball, obviously getting a court named after you is one of the greatest honors that anyone could achieve. But I think all the other things he's done outside of just purely basketball, beyond being a phenomenal ball player himself, what he did at the Rucker tournament, coaching Dr. J and so many others, is really the impact on this community, on this city, that is really, that makes it so well deserved. And so thank you for all you've done for me and for so many others, and for Carl Young. I'm just going to add one more thing. You know, I was walking down the street, as much as Butch is Stuyvesant Town royalty, has been here for over 50 years. He's also comes from Harlem royalty. So I was walking down the street with his uncle Carl Younger on 135th and Lenox one day, and people came up to me and said, "Who the hell are you?" And I was like, because you must be somebody really important if you're walking down the street with Butch Purcell and Carl Younger. So, and Carl has passed, he's not here today, but I will just say he's here in spirit and looking down, and he's so very proud of you, my friend.
Now we're going to hear from former NBA player Kenny Charles.
This is so cool. And he actually deserves it. I think the tribute to John Purcell is that this could happen in many neighborhoods in New York City, and it'll be just as well attended. He knows everyone. Everyone likes him because they don't know him. So I remember I met Butch. He coached the West Siders when I was coming out of college. The coach, he and the other coach who's here, is probably Pete speaking next, right?
He's here.
Yeah. So all my dealings with Butch was in Harlem. So one day, Butch asked me to give him a ride. So I'm thinking, it's not 5 minutes from Rucker Park. It's not 5 minutes from Rucker Park, and I'll take him home, and that'll be the end of it. So I said, where you live? He said, 18th Street and First Avenue. 18th Street and First Avenue. What are you doing down there? So that's how I got to know this side of John Purcell. He would praise you guys. He would say they love me down there. They adore me down there. And then when he got a dog, they adored both of them down there. I also love this family because I've known John Jr. since he was born and Mary for just as long a time. And they've just always been good to me, always have good advice. Sometimes I took it, sometimes I didn't. But it's just an honor to be here because I look around and all these faces could be in different parts of the city still singing the praises of John Purcell. Thank you.
You just caught that, but Kenny just whispered in Butch's ear that he just lied. We've got two more speakers. Next up is, again, our own Mark Thompson.
Good morning, everyone. I just want to say a few brief things about my godfather. On many levels, he's my godfather. When I moved into Stuyvesant Town, he's one of the first people I met. Made me feel so welcome. Has just been the greatest influence in my life. You and Mary are my family here, little John, and I just want to thank you for doing everything you do for us and for being my family. So I want to give you a big round of applause. So.
Actually, I just Peter Vessi's going to speak. He said he drove 2,700 miles. So Peter, after you, please.
Butch and I go back to when we both moved in here. What year? 69? 68? 68.
Yeah.
And everybody always said that, you know, he was one of the, or I don't know if you say you were the first black that was in here. But
Fifth.
Well, and I was the sixth. So
Bill Clinton.
So here we are. So here we are. And then, you know, Butch, of course, got me entry into the Rucker tournament, got my team into the Rucker, and he and I, you know, co-coached the West Siders and won a couple titles.
Yep.
And I think my whole reaction to this was I really did drive 2,700 miles from Arizona to make sure that I could be here for this. I had to drive because I have a big dog. They wouldn't let me in here anymore. Too big. But I definitely wanted to be here for this. This to me, you know, I'm in 5 or 6 Hall of Fames. Okay. This to me is the greatest honor that anybody that ever played the game, that has played in a playground, and we were playground 9 constantly. I was at 444. 276. I mean, we played how many games together? Did I ever pass to you?
Never. Wait.
Came in shooting.
He wouldn't pass the towel during the timeout.
Well, we were not going to get into the fact that I was smart not to give him the ball. But at any rate, you know, this is, Butch, I swear, I mean, I would take this honor over anything. I can't think of a greater honor than being named after you. And I can't think of a more honorable person to give it to.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you.
And unscripted, I think de Blasio's office heard that this was going on, so we have Ann Del Castillo from the mayor's office who'd like to finish up.
Good morning, everyone. Actually, yes, it's true. I am the commissioner of the Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment. But I wasn't really here in that capacity originally. Butch whispered to me a couple of weeks ago that they were doing this. And I just thought it was going to be a little ceremony. I'm a lifelong Stuyvesant Town resident. I actually grew up in that building right there. And I've known John since I was like 4 years old. I didn't even know his name was Butch until like 4 years ago. I went to school with his son, John. He and I were BFFs when we were kids. And I saw all my colleagues here, and I was like, oh my God, this is a way bigger ceremony than I was anticipating. And so I did. I ran up to Rick like 5 minutes ago, and I was like, I had no idea this is what it was. But I would be remiss if I did not take advantage of the opportunity, both in my role at the city and really just as someone who adores this man, which has been such a part of my life for so long. And to see all of these people, it's like I'm not surprised at all. I wasn't realizing it was going to be such a big ceremony, but I'm glad. It's about time you got your due. I just very personally wanted to take the opportunity to say thank you for being such a positive force in my life and obviously the lives of so many people here. I'm so proud and happy for you. Thank you, Stuyvesant Town, for recognizing this incredible man. Congratulations to John and Mary. John, it's great to see you. I haven't seen you in I don't know how long. But I love you. Congratulations. And thank you for all you do.
All right, I fibbed. There's a couple more that I would like to say. And by the way, I went to the Brooklyn Hall of Fame induction of Butch a couple of years ago, and it was an absolute free-for-all. The players and those who coached, who Butch have coached over the years, got up and said a few words. And Butch asked me if they were to show up, we were supposed to have more public safety officers. So thank God, thank goodness that everyone is well behaved so far. I would like to ask Lloyd Williams to come up. Lloyd, where's Lloyd? President of the Uptown Chamber of Commerce. Here, he's right behind me, Lloyd. And President of Harlem Week.
I will not keep you. This is my man. That's all I have to say. This is my man. I love him dearly. And I am so honored and pleased to call him my brother. And I particularly have learned to love him more and more because of his never-ending dedication and commitment to his beloved Mary. And with that, it's all I have to say. This is our guy. We love him. Thank you.
And the final speaker that we have is one of the gems of New York of all time, Earl the Pearl Monroe.
Great basketball player. He played with the Knicks, the 1873. Hey, Pearl! Yeah! Hey, Pearl! Thank you for coming to the Knicks.
Thank you very much. Obviously here to pay homage to good friend, and I didn't know that he would have the U in here waiting for us as we got here, but it's a great evening, a great morning. Butch has been a lifelong, almost lifelong friend. Rivals. He came from a school that in North Carolina, what's the name of that school?
Don't stop with me.
North Carolina Central University, right? Okay, cool. And we had great rivalries in college and on to New York. And he's been a real friend over the course of the years, helping me out in many instances, and I was just happy to be able to come down here. Now, he never told me that this was going to be this type of incident for him. He told me that, come down where, we did this thing for Wingo, and there'll be a couple people here, and so forth and so on. And as usual, he's understating, himself. But he's a great guy. Obviously a great community person and very deserving of this honor. So I'm happy to be here to celebrate with him. Happy to see you out here as well. And again, Butch, congratulations.
So as we wrap it up, I just also wanted to thank in classic Butch, Starbucks, when they heard that we were doing this, they said, hey, what can we supply coffee, pastry, and so forth, because Starbucks loves Butch. I would have thought whoever supplies him with the ice cream would have been in first in line. In closing, this community is an amazing community. It's one of a kind, I think, anywhere in the United States, maybe in the world, because of the people who make it up. And we are truly blessed to have Butch and Mary as part of the community, as part of the fabric of who we are. Today's dedication, we're extremely honored to have Butch and Mary as part of this today. And Butch will forever be remembered on Playground 9. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put the plaque on the column as you enter right now. But my suspicion is Butch is going to get mobbed. So we'll just go ahead and do that. You can take pictures with the legend, the mayor. Thank you all for coming this morning. All right, hang on. As we all know, Butch is not short of words. So Butch will bring us home.
Some crowd, yo. This is like really, I'm super impressed with this crowd. It's like, you know, wow.
You deserve it.
Thank you. My Stuyvesant Town roots. Well, my roots came up through Harlem with the great Younger family, iconic family. They're all gone now. I was out of school for a semester. That's when I met my wife, okay? And I guess I left school for a semester because I'm listening to the Temptations, Four Tops. I didn't go to class. So I got this job in Stuyvesant Town with a great man by the name of Mr. Ed Mackey.
Yes.
All right, those that know him, great guy, and I'm gonna fight for us to do something for him before it's over. Anyway, long story short, Mackey brings me in, and he gives me to a guy named Dennis McDonald. All right, Dennis, stand up a second. He gave me to Dennis. He said, Dennis, take care of this guy. He's been doing that for a long time now, taking care of it, right? Anyway, so basically, you know, I want to just, you know, thank the Lord for this great day and for having me here. I want to thank my family, my son John, my wife Mary, my aunt Rosalie. They basically made it really real in terms of, my son kept me grounded for years. They don't talk too long, Dad. We'll be here till Sunday. But I want to just say one thing about him, and Mary kept me grounded too. I couldn't have a better son.
Oh.
You know, 8-time MVP for the Yankees, okay? 8 times, all right? This guy, he's the man, right there. Stand up, John, so they can see you, please. So I just want to say thank you very much. And there's so many people I can thank. It's like crazy, man. But, you know, I've been missing people, so let's just, I want to thank my dog, too. She basically, she's the greatest, without a doubt, for sure. Thanks for coming, and basically, God bless everybody.
We love you!